Ladies and gentlemen, moving on with the program right now, would like to make welcome for a keynote address the Managing Director, APM Terminals, Mr. Frederick Klinke. Please, a round of applause as he comes on stage, and kindly sustain the applause.
Good afternoon. Honorable Minister, Mr. Deputy Governor, Madam the Permanent Secretary, the Executive Secretary, Directors of Services, distinguished investors, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm honored to deliver this keynote address at this important summit, convening under the theme Shifting Gears, Heading to a New Frontier in the Maritime Economy. And this theme could not be more timely. If there was ever a defining moment for Nigeria's blue economy to reposition itself for resilience, competitiveness, and sustainable growth, that moment is now. Globally, the maritime industry is undergoing a profound transformation. We are witnessing a decisive shift towards cleaner fuels, accelerated decarbonization, AI-driven automation, and a fundamental restructuring of global supply chains, largely in response to geopolitical tensions and climate imperatives. Recent events have underscored the fragility of global trade routes. While the world was still grappling with disruptions in the Red Sea, escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, particularly involving the Strait of Hormuz, have further heightened uncertainty in international trade. These developments carry serious implications, not only for Nigeria, but for the global economy at large. Freight costs are rising sharply as shipping lines reroute vessels, insurance premiums are escalating, and supply chains are becoming increasingly unpredictable. In Nigeria, these global shocks are compounded by local realities. Shippers are facing longer lead times at times when national policy is firmly focused on expanding non-oil exports and diversifying the economy. Without deliberate intervention, these pressures risk undermining the strategic objectives. Yet despite these challenges, Nigeria's maritime sector continues to demonstrate resilience and forward momentum. Over the past few years, Nigeria has taken deliberate and commendable steps to transform its trade and maritime landscape. One of the most significant of these is the launch of the National Single Window, a centralized trade platform designed to simplify and harmonize import and export processes. And with an expected reduction in cargo clearance timeline from several weeks to as little as 48 hours, this initiative places Nigeria on a much stronger competitive footing alongside leading global trading nations. Beyond digitalization, the government, working through its agencies, has remained steadfast in supporting the country's export growth agenda. The results are already evident. Export-laden container volumes have increased several-fold over the past years. And together, these developments signal a maritime industry that is steadily progressing towards greater efficiency, predictability, and automation, an industry clearly responding to reform. As a business with deep roots and a long-term commitment to Nigeria, we in APM Terminals have aligned our strategy to fully leverage these positive shifts. To date, we have invested over $600 million across our terminal operations in the country, and with a strong emphasis on energy-efficient equipment and the integration of sustainable technologies. Our ambition is clear: to grow responsibly, competitively, and in line with global sustainability standards. At our West Africa container terminal in Onne, we recently commissioned a 500 megawatt rooftop solar plant, and we commenced the electrification of our terminal equipment fleet. In Lagos, Apapa, we have commissioned 2 new 4 megawatt compressed natural gas power plants, significantly reducing our resilience on diesel and lowering our overall carbon footprint. These investments reflect our belief that operational excellence and environmental responsibility must go hand in hand. Export volumes across our terminals have also continued a strong upward trajectory, driven by deliberate and targeted operational decisions. These include the establishment of a dedicated container freight station in Onne, the introduction of exclusive export lanes at Apapa to significantly reduce gating times, and thrice-weekly rail service connecting Apapa to Monia and Ibadan, enabling faster, more reliable movement of export cargo from the hinterland to the ports. To sustain and deepen these gains and to further strengthen investor confidence, there must be a continued and collective commitment to global standards of excellence. Regulatory reforms must remain consistent and enduring regardless of changes, and critically must be effectively coordinated across all relevant agencies. Equally important is the continued development of enabling port infrastructure. Deeper channel draft that allow for larger vessels, and end-to-end digitalization of the entire port ecosystem, including full integration of the national single window with all industry stakeholders, and seamless multimodal cargo movement through strengthened trade corridors. All that will be essential. Together, these measures will firmly position Nigeria as the maritime hub in West Africa. Ultimately, reduced cargo dwell times, harmonized documentation, and seamless processing will not only lower the cost of doing business, but also enhance Nigeria's credibility and standing within the global trade networks. And that is a future worth investing in. This is especially critical at a time where the African trade volumes surged over 30% in 2025, making it the fastest growing container trade corridor globally, according to the Container Trade Statistics. Shipping lines are already repositioning to capture this growth, putting larger ships in servicing African ports. Nigerian ports must be able to accommodate that by ensuring that cargo volumes can flow through our gateways. Our continued investments in digital solutions and port infrastructure reflect a firm commitment to achieving this goal. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's maritime economy is at an inflection point. If we align policy, infrastructure investment, and execution discipline, we can unlock faster cargo flow, stronger export competitiveness, and better investor confidence. The private sector is ready to invest. What we need is predictable rules, accelerated digitalization, and corridor-enabling infrastructure that makes those investments productive. And together, we can ensure Nigeria not only keeps pace with global change, but sets the standard for maritime growth in Africa. Thank you very much for your time and your attendance. God bless Nigeria.